Hey, what's up everybody? This is Augie from AuggieBroTV. Today I'll be doing the third and final tutorial to the Duracell class build for Rift. First we're going to look at the soul tree. The adjustments we've made is we've dropped 5 points into Stormborn, 1 into Jolt, 3 into Lust for Blood, 1 into Strike of the Maelstrom, 3 into Eye of the Storm, 1 into Battle Charge, and 1 into Rage of the North. The abilities we've unlocked are Ageless Ice, Avalanche Strike, Heart of the Frozen Sea, Courage of the Eagle, Mind of Aggression, and Heart of the Fire Mountain. All these abilities we'll be using, except for Avalanche Strike, and these four are actually all buff abilities that can be altered and used in your rotation, depending on the situation. But first we have Jolt, and this is high in both of our priorities. If you look here, we have Jolt in very first place on single target and second place on AoE. Does a lot of damage and costs very little mana, and it's a great ability. This increased our melee abilities. They now have a 45 chance to cause you to deal an additional 30% damage with your next physical ability. So when you hit, sometimes that will proc and you'll get an extra hit with your next hit. Strike of the Maelstrom is a great AoE ability. It was dropped into our macro pretty high up. I know it looks like it's at the bottom, but the actual AoE abilities in there start with Soul Drain. So Soul Drain, then Strike of the Maelstrom, then Even Justice. Those are the AoE abilities in our AoE macro. The other ones, Rage of the North, increases our critical hit by 100%. Jolt is it's a damage to one target. Glory of the Chosen is a heal. Fated Blow is a opportune attack that doesn't trigger a global cooldown, and then Soul Drain is a casted AoE ability. So that's where the AoE abilities start in our macro. Battle Charge is a PvP based ability in my opinion. It lets us get out of movement and parrying effects, so it is like sort of an escape, and it causes your enemies to be snared by 70%. It's a charge, so it's a 3 to 20 meter range, and it's good for microing yourself. In the Justicar Soul Tree, we have added, where did we start? Right here now. We've added 3 to Vengeful Justice, which increases our new ability, Even Justice's amount of targets that we hit. We've also dropped 2 into Shield of Faith and 1 into Devout Deflection. This just decreases our damage intake a bit by 4%, and this increases our dodge and our parry by 40% of our spell power and 60% of our spell power. Looking at the new abilities we've gotten down here, we were at Provoke last time, I believe, and possibly Purpose. I think these 3 we'd unlocked last time. We now have Righteous Mandate, which is a great support ability. You put this on your tank, and what it does is it takes, as long as you're at maximum health, it will take all the healing that you gain from Salvation and give it to the tank. You will also be able to heal whoever has Righteous Mandate with Doctrine of Righteousness, which is a very powerful heal. It doesn't actually do 100, it's at 275 at max level. And it might be even more. I haven't trained at max level yet, so we'll see. Finally, we have Even Justice, which is in our AoE macro at the very bottom. It is a powerful ability, though. If you look at my DPS, I guess it's not in here. In a fight earlier, it was higher in there. This is actually a single target fight. Looking back at our single target, though, we get Sovereignty, and that's dropped in just before Bolt of Radiance and Strike of Judgment. So it's not a super high priority ability, but it does do significant damage, and it's a powerful ability. Looking at our macros, the abilities added, I just discussed, are Jolt, Glory of the Chosen, Strike of the Maelstrom, and Sovereignty for a single target. Those are all the ones that have been added since level 25. AoE, we have Rage of the North, Jolt, Glory of the Chosen, Strike of the Maelstrom, and Even Justice. So significant changes to every single one of our to both of our macros, and it changes our fighting style a lot since level 25. Looking at the buffs really quickly before I head out to battle, we have Armor of Devotion, Heart of the Frozen Sea, and Heart of the Frozen Sea I forgot to discuss this from the past. Armor of Devotion is more damage, and this is more survivability. Increases your armor and your endurance. So if I wanted that little boost, I'd have an extra 500 health, and if you feel like you need it, go ahead and grab it. But for the fights we'll be doing, they'll be relatively easy and small. Here we have Heart of the Frozen Sea and Heart of the Fire Mountain. Just depending on what type of usually planar units you're going to be going against, or if you know that a certain enemy is going to be there more often, you want to get water or air resistance or fire and earth resistance. I usually just keep this one active. I tend to be fighting water and air more often, I guess. Salvation is a survival ability that we've had since the beginning, just like Cavalier. Mine of Honor can now be opted out with Mine of Aggression for a 20% or 25% single target damage increase. But it does significantly reduce our healing, so I'd advise only using it for those single target fights when you know that you won't be taking as much damage and whatnot. This is a tanking ability if you are deciding to be a tank cleric within the Duracell build. I've seen Duracell tanks before, but usually not in raids. You want a stronger tank for raids. The Mine of Honor is the one that we'll be using just for healing. Reparation, this is a group ability, heals 25% of your Justicar abilities and 10% of all other abilities that do healing to your party members. Righteous Mandate goes hand in hand with our Doctrine of Righteousness, and I usually drop it on my tank. I haven't done anything at level 50 yet with it, but hopefully I'll get the chance to. I actually just built this. This is my first character from forever ago, from like 8 months ago, and so I picked up the Duracell soul build on her and went ahead and did this. Courage of the Jaguar is the ability we'll be using. You can use these two as well, but they are not fully upgraded yet, I don't believe. This is only 30 strength and 30 wisdom, while this is 40 dexterity. So I'm going to be sticking to this for melee physical damage increase. And then I'll be using Vengeance of the Winter Storm. You do have the ability to drop one of your points up here and grab Vengeance of the Frozen Earth instead, which is more of a PvP based ability. So if you're choosing to be a PvP Duracell build, you'd grab this instead. Instead of doing the extra damage that Vengeance of the Winter Storm does, it does 50% snare for 6 seconds to your enemies. And once again, only one Vengeance can be active at a time. Those are the buffs we'll be using. I'm going to go ahead and do a single target fight with this Mathosian Hunting Hound and show you guys how it goes. I always put Glacial Shield on first and then pull with Vex. Using our single target macro. It's activating all these abilities. You can see which ones I'm using at what times. As you can see in that fight, I did not take any damage, mostly just due to my Glacial Shield. But I'll show you another single target fight without the Glacial Shield. Health is still full. I am going down in mana a bit. I'll show you guys the mana regeneration abilities in the AoE fight. So still at full health. I'm down 20% mana after 2 fights. But that's okay. So now we're going to AoE fight this. We do have one guy up here who's not going to be getting the AoE. I'm going to go ahead and start now. This is what an AoE fight looks like. My health did get low, but thanks to Salvation, it goes right back up. Now down to 1 mob. The Rage of the North does so much damage. It increases your damage so much. And now I'll be showing you our mana. I'm back, and that's with the Aggressive Renewal. It's that ability that we picked up in our Inquisitor Soul Tree also long ago. And my health's still low, so I'm going to use one of my Doctrines of Bliss. And I still have 3 Convictions in store just in case. We're going to pick up some melee units, hopefully. We will have 1 range, since we're going to pull all the way over to him. And I will show you guys. Lost the Hound, oh well. I'm going to show you guys the mana regain abilities here, Ageless Ice and Purpose. So I'm using these abilities and my mana is staying maxed out because it's regenerating 20% of my mana every time I hit. They do have only a 1 minute cooldown, so I can get all my mana back and then get it all back again. This has been the level 50 Duracell soul build tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please post in the comments. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time.